Alright, but in all seriousness, I had a reconstruction surgery. I've got to get myself out of the habit of saying repair, because I've learned that my ACL was not repaired, it was reconstructed. So like they cut out a part of me to build up a new part of me. And if you're thinking that sounds painful, it's exactly how painful as it sounds. So my surgery was Friday, which means Saturday I was good and drugged up and tired and sleeping a lot and a lot of pain. So that's why you didn't get a review. So I'm trying to not be a slackerish. And I am going to review what I told you I'm going to review. I have a book today that isn't something typical for me. I read The Manchurian Mandate. It's poetry. It's a small read, but it's not like a series of poems, like separate poems. Ooh, microphone. This is what happens when you're stuck in a recliner and have no proper place to record. Alright, so it's not a bunch of poetries. It's one big poem. It's not for anybody under the age of 18. It is a deeper topic and it does have some language. I feel like anybody who is a blue-collar worker or knows what it's like to completely sacrifice a majority of your time and efforts to raise money for a corporation that's barely giving you anything in return. It's definitely one of those damn the man kind of poems, which I liked it. I thought it was really good, which, like I said, it's not typical for me. I don't really dive into poetry very often, but this isn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. And I am going to read some parts from it. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I do want you to pick it up and read it yourself, but I will read some beginning excerpts, maybe some middle, and then a little bit of the end, but I'm not going to read the entire thing, just kind of give you a little nibble at it. So, okay. I'm all good and set up now. My usual setup is just not feasible right now since I'm stuck in this chair. So, since I'm going to be doing a poetry reading, I feel a little fancy. So, going to enjoy a bottle of wine with my poetry reading. No, I'm just kidding. I totally just talked about I just got done having surgery and I'm not going to drink wine with pain pills because I don't want to die. So there's that. So instead, I'm going to read to you. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and if you have children in the room, earmuffs. The Manchurian Mandate by Joseph Fulkerson. A dream written in the blood of our ancestors' hands, shaking adrenal shakes, machinations and divinations, incantations inciting righteous moans, bestial howls, planet-wide escalations, activating the Manchurian candidate in all of us. Lost in the void of everything, cast your lot with the damned, no way out but down. We are all just trying to somebody or something, anything that will receive us. The culmination of our frustrations lost in the gullet of eternal bliss. Shameful as it may be, you never really succeed, merely prolong the inevitable. A parable told by flashlight quickly loses its meaning. Fables told by campfire were made to be disproven. Fairy tales memorized and whispered into eager young ears are set up for failure, filled with the heroes and villains of our own making, our own choosing, rising and falling with the tide. The rumor mill is in full swing as Sakarian sweet promises of a would-be has-been ring loudly over megaphone amplifiers. Words of dissension, dripping acidic, a cavalcade of bullshit, triumphant melodies of fervent hatred. Spittle-soaked chin, cocaine sniffles, rage-tipped fear-mongering, and saber-rattling circle the wagons and maintain the majority without question. All must fall in line. Recite the mantra, all in unison, hands firmly clasped, fingers braided around your neighbor's throat. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, some men being equal to God alone. Okay. Worker drones pledged their very lives to the colony, to their queen. Our lives were pledged for us as we latched onto our mother's breast. We are soldiers of misfortune, soldiers of dishonor, soldiers of distress, fighting dimly for a bright future, flung prepubescent from the loins of the poor, dying in oil-drenched graves, dredged from the belly of the machine. Cogs all. All, kill all. Construction workers are we. Retail service workers are we. Water treatment facility operators are we. Security guards are we. Teachers are we. Service stations attendants are we. Trash collectors are we. Street sweepers are we. Baristas are we. Truck drivers are we. Childcare workers are we. We are laborers, all. Pulling the scales from our eyes, refusing the status quo, steady as she goes. Quid pro quo mentality of business as usual. We are here. We are legion. We are restless. We must remain patient. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this book. So, the Manchurian mandate. As you know, a mandate is something that an authoritarian is telling you has to be done. So, it's been mandated. It's something that you're being told you must do. Basically saying that everything that the working person is doing and is being told to do by authorities is not anything that's going to be beneficial, that they're pulling our puppet strings, which I like the way Joseph thinks, because I feel the same way. So let's talk a little bit about Joseph and what gives him the right to speak so harshly about the society that we live in and how the working man feels. Joseph is a writer of poetry and haiku. He does have 3 books out. He's got the Glenmore Sessions, a collection of poetry, 3 a.m. Blues, and Thunderheads. So those are 3 other things that you can check out if you decide that you really like the Manchurian Mandate. But he also works in Kentucky, and he's worked in factories. Now, it doesn't say it in here, but I know that he's worked in factories. So he is a blue-collar worker. He does know what he's talking about. These are probably thoughts and things that have gone through his mind while he's been at work, because he does work for corporations. So these are probably feelings that most people have when they're at work and they're feeling disgruntled or something's gone awry or they can see the corruption that's going on, but because they have a family to take care of and bills to pay, they continue to go along with it because they need to get their paycheck. So I can definitely see where his experience and the life that he has led would lead him to write something this grim and serious about the working man and woman. So it's definitely a good read for anybody who gets this, which I feel like at least 95% of the world gets this. They're actually higher, like 98% of the world probably understands exactly what he's expressing through his poetry, through this one poetry. It's definitely a middle finger to the higher tiers of the hierarchy, which every now and then, damn the man's not a bad thing. So I am going to leave a link, an Amazon link, down below in the description. This book said it's very small, so it doesn't cost a whole lot. I think I might have paid $5 for it. It wasn't anything expensive at all, so it's worth it. It's a great discussion starter, so if you just want to get it, have it sitting out like on your coffee table, so when you have friends come over and they're like, hey dude, what's this? You can pick it up and you can like talk about it and lead a group discussion about how they feel about the words, and it'll just make you sound smart with all your friends, and then, you know, you're not taking oxycodone, so you can break out with the wine, with your fancy poetry and your smart conversations about this book. But alas, I cannot drink of your sweetness. Not until I am no longer taking pain medication. We shall meet again. I'm gonna hand this to my husband. Be gone, out of my sight. It's okay. We will be back to the higher, better things in life, like smashed grapes. After I'm no longer in pain, which apparently is going to be a really long time. So I'll update you all on my recovery too. I would show you my disgusting stitches, but my husband said no. He figured none of you want to see it, which is fair because I don't want to see it and it's attached to my body. But I have no choice to see it. It's really gross though. So hopefully you enjoyed the review. I know it's a little bit shorter and sweeter than some of the ones that I do because it's not a full-length novel. And I don't want to give too much away about it because I really, really encourage people to actually purchase and read the things that I review. I don't want to just tell you everything about them because that doesn't benefit the author. It doesn't benefit you as a reader. And when I read these things and I review them, it really is because I do want to share these things with the world, especially when they're indie authors, because indie authors just, they don't get enough clout. They need more recognition. You're going to find one of your favorites in some of these reviews one day that you would have never discovered. So pick it up. Try it out. Remember, Joseph's got more than one. If you're really into poetry and you don't like to pay for really expensive things, this is your man. You can even get his books if you live in the Owensboro, Kentucky area. You can go over to 2nd and Charles, and there's a local author area, and you can pick this up there. So I encourage you to do that as well if you're not big on ordering things online. But if you do go pick it up in the store, still make sure that you leave a review on Amazon, because I cannot stress this enough, but reviews are more important than the purchase themselves. Like, if you are to pick up a book from a friend's nightstand that you did not pay a penny for, but you read it and you enjoyed it, I encourage you, jump on and review it on Amazon, on Goodreads, anything that you can pop on and say something good about it, because that is the best way to get new readers and to market a product. Everything is word of mouth. So an indie author could pour thousands and thousands of dollars into ads and marketing and ways to get their face out there. But if they don't already have a name, a big name or a big company that's backing them, that $1,000 that they poured into ads isn't going to mean anything. So it really is word of mouth. People trust what their friends tell them. So review. First read, purchase, read. Amazon Goodreads review. So I appreciate you taking your time out to sit here, and I plan on, since I do live in Kentucky, going to hit up Joseph for an autograph. I think that's fair enough, right? Yeah, Joseph, did you hear that? I'm coming for you. You will sign my book. So, thank you. Y'all have a good night. Drink some wine for me.